Hey everyone, welcome to this class I call 12 Yoga Poses for Baseball Players. I'm pretty excited to teach this class, even though I admittedly am not a big baseball fan or a baseball follower myself, but I know a lot of people who love the sport, love to watch the sport, and who are in the sport. And if it's not them, then it's their children and their families. And even though I'm not a fan, I also am familiar with, some of the biomechanical movements and the shapes that players make in the game. And so speaking of players, I just want to point out one last thing. When people think of baseball, they just think of the batter and the pitcher, and that's it. That's where the cameras zone in. That's what the commentators talk about a lot more. But we all know that in a baseball game, there are other roles and other folks in the field, even the catcher as well. And so I am just trying to accommodate as much of those movements in the game in this one short class. And so wherever you are in the game, I hope you learn something from this class. And I hope it keeps you injury-free and it also keeps your baseball game strong. So props-wise, as you can see, I have pillows, blankets, blocks, straps, bolsters. If you don't have those, don't worry because we won't necessarily be requiring those. Just make sure you have your yoga mat. If you want to grab a towel or hydration, water, please go ahead and do that. Grab those. Otherwise, we are going to start on our feet. So starting pose right here will be a dangle pose. I want to make sure that your feet is under the hips, right? Hip width apart, toes pointing forward. I want every one of you to just soften at the knees and just feel your upper body relax. And I'm going to show it here on the side. Just send your hips back and just dangle your upper body down, rounding the spine. You can grab elbow to elbow and then just soften at the knees and swing the body left and right. Let the head drop. Feel grounded in the feet. We're opening up the back. We're opening up the back side of the body so we don't feel so tight and so restricted. And if you want to go ahead and shake your head yes and no, please do that. Loosens up the neck. Keep swaying left and right. Just subtly opening up the hamstrings as well, the legs, and just spending a few more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. No, stop in the middle. Breathe through the nose. Inhale. Open the mouth. Exhale. Stop in the middle. One more time. Deep inhale through the nose. And open the mouth side out. Feel that release. Then release your arms. And then ragdoll your way up. The head is the last part of the body to move. And as soon as you make it upright here, start to do some free form, freestyle shoulder rolls. Bringing the shoulder points up, back, and down. Keep being soft in the knees, grounded in the feet. And if you want your spine to go along with this roll, then you can sort of find some arching and some rounding to go along with the shoulder rolls, whatever feels natural to you. So we definitely don't want to force anything. 2 more of these circles. And then slowly stop in the middle. Inhale your arms up. As you exhale, send your hips back. Plant your palms and send your left foot to the back. Send your left knee down. Walk your right foot forward. And then make that left knee as far away from the right heel as possible, as you can keep the deep bend in that right leg. Shift the body left and right before we get ourselves into a deep twist, which would be our next pose. Activating the left glute, since your left knee is down, helps open up the left hip. Keep your left hand down where it is. Plant your right hand on top of your right thigh and use the left hand to swerve the body, the upper body, and twist to the right. Breathe. There is this motion on baseball, especially for the pitchers. It's called trunk separation. And that's when you throw the ball, the minute or the second your front foot hits the ground and you really throw that ball out, it's really the power of that pelvis all the way up the chain into the chest that adds power into throwing that ball. It's good to have strong shoulders, but really it's that trunk separation, the skill behind that really makes for a powerful pitch. Walk your foot towards the midline, and if you want, you can send your left elbow outside your right thigh. And a lot of people want to do like prayer, hands-on prayer here, or you can do fist on the palm, whatever feels good. But wringing the upper body out towards the right. Breathe. And if it's in the cards today, you can lift your left knee off of the mat. And if it's not, then it's fine. Send your right hip back and down. Keep the back leg engaged. Breathe. Open the chest. Super good for that trunk separation. One more time. Inhale. And then exhale. Slowly lower the knee down. Plant your hands down. Come into a quadruped. Plant the palms underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Make sure there is some daylight between the legs. Spreading the palms, spreading the fingers. Zip your belly up first before we do our cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift your tailbone, and then you open the chest and then you lift your head. And as you exhale, you round the spine. You tuck your tailbone under, you concave the chest, drop your head towards, or your chin towards your chest. Keep going with this cow pose, which is when you arch the spine. And the cat pose is when you go the other direction. Pushing the floor away. Let's do 3 more times of these. Exhale, round. Take your time. Keeping the fingers spread, keeping the palms glued strong towards the mat. One more time. Inhale as you arch the spine. Exhale, slowly round. Beautiful. Come to center. We're going to do that on the other side. Left foot in the front of the mat. And then right knee as far away as possible, keeping a deep bend on that left knee. Hands can be on blocks or underneath your face on the mat. And just find this nice little sways left and right. The right knee is down, so activate that right glute to help open up the right hip. Be soft in the breath and be soft in the face. Keep your right hand where it is. Slowly plant your left hand on top of your left thigh. Swerve the body towards the left. Find this nice twist first. Deep breath in. Wring it out. Exhale. How's the right glute, guys? Keep that right hip open one more time. Inhale. And then exhale. Walk the left foot towards the midline of your mat. And if you want, you can place your right elbow outside that left thigh. Again, prayer hands or hands on palm, fist on palm. Wring that waist out, wring that upper body out. Find your focus. Look at a spot in front of you that's not moving. Chest is open. Strong muscles behind the shoulders. You can tuck your toes behind you if you want. If it's in the cards today, then you can lift the right knee off of the mat. Find the balance. If you're wobbling, that's okay. That means you're doing the work. If you're falling, then you're better off with your right knee down. Again, the trunk separation is what we're doing this for. One more breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lower the knee. Plant the palms down. Come back into your quadruped or hands and knees. Spread the fingers, glue the palms, knees underneath your hips, really finding that alignment, zipping your belly up. Just 3 of those cat-cows again, just to feel articulated in the spine and open in the spine. And also the muscles in the front and the back. Lengthening, opening, releasing. One more time in those cat-cows. Exhale, slowly round. Beautiful. Step the right foot forward. Step the left foot forward. And gently ragdoll your way up. We're going to get into the standing pose called Warrior 1 and Humble Warrior. So let's start with our right foot front first. So right foot's going to be in front. Step your left leg to the back. Just make sure this left foot is not right behind the right foot. You're actually sort of finding the width in your hip and then making sure that the left foot is in the same distance or the same width as your hip. That way your pelvis can just breathe. We're not twisting or tilting it. Angle that heel, angle the back foot. Find a deep bend in your front leg. And instead of dumping into that knee, zip your lower belly in. Keep the back heel down. Open up the chest. Keep your ribs in. Inhale the arms up, Warrior 1. The back hip is externally rotating. Super important for the external rotation in the hip, especially when you're about to pitch. Breathe in. Breathe it out. Last time, inhale. As you exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. And as you inhale, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift your arms away from the body. You can look up a little bit. And as you exhale, dip your upper body inside your right knee. And this is called Humble Warrior. Send your right glute in towards the midline of your mat. Drop your head. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. Your back heel is still down. Breathe in, smile. Breathe out. Slowly release the hands. Plant the palms down and come into a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, you're going to make a letter A shape with your body. So the hands are going to be as wide as the shoulders at least. And the feet is going to be as wide as the hips at least, which means it could be wider. Last breath in this down dog. Inhale. And exhale. And then let's do that on the other side. Step the left foot between your palms. Already angle the back heel down as we're going to do Warrior 1 with the left leg in front and the right foot in the back. Again, make sure that your right foot is not right behind your left foot. Make sure that it's planted in a place where it's just easy for your pelvis to feel even. Deep bend in the left leg, and then the left foot is facing forward. This is externally rotating in the back, but zip your lower belly in. Feel some liberation in the chest. And then lift your arms up. Deep bend in that front leg. Inhale here. It's called the Warrior 1. So I want you guys to feel fierce and capable, which you guys are if you're playing baseball. Last breath right here. Inhale, direct your tailbone down towards the ground. And on an exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Perhaps it's a different grip this time. Inhale, open the chest, squeeze shoulder blades together, arms away from the body. And then exhale, bow down into your Humble Warrior. Zip the thighs together. That directs your hips towards the midline of your mat. Breathe in here. If you're shaking, if you're wobbling, you're human, you're doing the work. Last breath in this warrior. Inhale. And then exhale. Slowly release the hands. Plant the palms. Come into a downward facing dog once again.
pedal in your down dog or come straight to your down dog, whatever is comfortable. Just imagine again, the top of that letter A is your tailbone, so lengthen the spine. Then feel free to bend those legs to accommodate the lower back, so there's no pulling in that lower back. Inhale. Exhale, open the mouth. Look forward and step your right foot outside the right hand. And then plant your left knee down. We're going to get into lizard pose. So this may be where yoga blocks or a thick book might come in handy. Because with lizards, we will eventually get our elbows down onto the mat or something. And if the mat or the ground is too far for you, make sure that you can plant your forearms on top of something a little bit higher that meets you halfway. A block, a thick book, whatever it is you have. It could even be a pillow or a blanket. I want you to open the chest. Right knee deeply bent right here. And whenever you're ready, drop your elbows towards something. It could be the ground, it could be the mat. And just drop your head as well. This is a huge hip opener, so I want you guys to be patient. Two more breaths right here, feeling this in the inner thighs. Perhaps the groin area, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful, plant your hands down. We're gonna get into pigeon pose, but we have to do that with a blanket if it's possible, or a cushion. So I want you to walk your right foot towards where your left wrist is, keeping a bend in the right leg, the right knee, and then just lengthen the left leg behind you. This right shin does not have to be parallel towards your body. You can deeply bend it, or you can open it up a little bit. We're going to make our pigeon experience today a little bit more active. However, to avoid any dumping of that right hip down, if you have any blankets, or if you just want to roll your yoga mat, that can do too. But place something underneath your right glute, your right hip. Plant your hands in front of you, and we're just going to sway the body left and right. That avoids any dumping to be done, because pigeon is a huge hip opener. And what I usually see people do is that they'll just dump. See how my pelvis is tilted? And they'll just kind of plop down, and the experience just becomes sloppy. So we want to seem and feel integrated here. Active, moving pigeon. It's a dynamic pigeon pose. Perhaps close the eyes and connect the movement with the breath. Perhaps finding a cadence here. About 4 more sways. Last 2. Last 1. Come to center, and then slowly come back to your quadruped, or hands and knees. If you wish to revisit those cat-cows, please do so. However, if you want to do cat-cows and something else, you can definitely do hip circles on the side where you just did pigeon. You can do hip circles on the other side, knowing that's coming, whatever feels good to you. This is where you really have to listen to your body and see what you need. See how you feel. And notice the different ways and shapes that you can recover. And once you're done with those freestyle moves, step your left foot outside the left hand. Direct your right knee away from the heel. Lizard pose on the left side. Deep bend in the left leg. Activate the right glute since the right knee is down to open up the right hip. Make your choice, blanket, block, or a book, or you can make your way down towards the mat. If you're making your way down towards the mat and it's too much of a pull in your left groin, your left inner thigh, I would rather you just come up. Toes point forward. as much as possible, the best you can. You can just drop your head. Relax the shoulders any amount. Soften the breath any amount. If the breath is choppy and labored and shallow, you won't feel as much release. You really got to be in this gentler place, in this softer place with your breath. Last breath, inhale. And release, exhale. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders. And then just heel toe your left foot towards where your right wrist is. And then drop the leg down, the left leg down, and lengthen the right foot back. If you use a blanket or a cushion or you folded your yoga mat before, I would rather you mirror it here as well, just to even things out. Plant your hands in front of your face. Again, this does not have to be completely parallel. This hip can open up in any way that feels comfortable to you. If you rather have your leg deeply bent here, that's totally cool, as long as you can still direct your upper body towards the front and you're not plopping into that left side. Close the eyes, or be heavy in your eyelids. Focus on the cadence between breath and movement as you just take these little subtle sways left and right. About 3 more sways. Last one. Beautiful. Slowly release from this pose. Come into your quadruped or hands and knees. Again, about 3-4 breaths of anything you want to do. Cat-cow, hip circles. You can even lengthen the legs to the back, pushing your heel back if that feels good. Stay curious and playful. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come up into a lunge, a square lunge. So step your left foot forward and come up here. And by square, I mean there's sort of this 90-degree angle. So we're not in this deep lunge right here, right? We're in this squarish lunge. And I want you guys to make field goal shape with your arms. That's your upper body. In the lower body, I want you to tighten that right glute and direct your tailbone down towards the ground. Zip up the belly. And we're just going to twist the upper body left and right for some thoracic rotation, which you guys know is super important in baseball. About 6 more sways each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, drop the arms. Angle the ankle about 45 degrees behind your knees. And then get your palms together. And then let's get the palms to face the front of your mat, along with your left knee. Cross the thumbs together. All we're going to do is just going to sway the arms to the right and left. So you can observe how this movement mimics the batter's movement, right? So yoga, just like with anything, may not totally mimic the shape of the actual movement, but we can mimic the experience. In this case, the pelvis remains strong and stable as we're just moving the upper body. We're also loosening up the muscles on the side and breathing with it. So be solid in your legs, be solid in your core and your glutes. And we'll just do 4 more sways each direction. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Plant the palms down. I'm actually going to just walk here to the other side so you guys can see me. This time, right foot is forward. Square this lunge. Make sure you're not in a deep lunge here. Make sure you're here upright. Squeeze the left glute Really find a nice base, a nice strong foundation with the legs. And then lift your arms up, open the palms up. And let's start to swing. Notice which side is easier for you to remain stable, which side is easier for you to kind of plop out and collapse. And just focus your breath on what's happening with the upper body. Just twisting left and right. Let's do 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the arms. Angle the left ankle 45 degrees behind that knee. Palms together. Cross the thumbs. Different thumb is in front this time. And the right knee is facing the same direction as your fingers. And then we're just going to bat. Swing those arms. Your shoulder blades are going to round a little bit away from the spine. The shoulder blades are those bony areas on the upper body. Like I said, we're trying to mimic the movement here without necessarily getting into the shape. This is how we prepare athletes for the game and also keep them injury-free, because we're preparing the muscles that are engaged, the tissues that get addressed in these movements with the breath. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake the arms. We're going to get into our 10th pose, which is dolphin pose. Very, very good shoulder strengthener. So with dolphin, I want you to drop your elbows down, but I want you to spread your fingers and make sure that the hands are about shoulder width apart, so that the elbows are not that wide and they're not narrow as well. Just find this nice shoulder width distance, hands and elbows, tuck the toes in the back, and then lift your hips up. Again, you're trying to make that letter A shape. Drop the head, engage the shoulders, and you can be in your tippy toes. You can also bend the legs just to keep the spine long. You can lift the heels any amount. You can feel the strength happening in the shoulders. Do not let the breath be choppy. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths here. Be patient. Lengthen the spine, lengthen your patience. Last breath, inhale. And then exhale. Open the mouth, slowly release the knees down. Walk your hands towards your knees. Shake the arms if you need to. Do some free-form shoulder rolls if you need to. We're going to get into the catcher's shape right now. So we're going to get into a squat. So a yogi squat usually looks like this. The heels are down, booty towards the ground, arms and elbows inside the body, palms together, the chest is open, and as the arms press out, the legs press in, and neither one of them is winning. So there's a lot of activity here. However, if you can't get your heels down, either you fold your yoga mat or you grab those blankets. Voila, heels are a little bit lifted. That just means your calves and maybe your Achilles tendon is a little bit tight, that it can't get down to the ground, but that's okay. We can still accommodate that because the catcher's pose really has the heels lifted with the wrists just oriented in one direction. So for now, we'll just plant the heels on something, or you can just plant the heels down on your mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Keeping the shape of the legs and the arms, just release the hands, make a loose fist, and do some free-form wrist rolls. Since the catcher stance is basically one shape with the wrist, holding up to catch the ball. So we kind of just want to rotate that wrist and orient it in other directions as well. Flexing and extending, maybe to the side. And we're going to get to our last pose now. Please drop the hands down. Get into a child's pose. So you can untuck the toes in the back, spread your knees wide apart. Send your hips towards your heels. If your back is still a little bit tight, you can just send your elbows down into the mat and just be in this half child's pose. Otherwise, you can plant your forehead down onto the mat or something, could be a block or a blanket. Relax your elbows down on the mat. Palm faces down, but relax your fingers. And then find the breath right here. Inhale. Open the mouth. Exhale. One more time. Inhale in. And then exhale out. Feel free to move the hips left and right. Little teeny tiny movements. If that is something that feels good to you. Few more breaths. Breathe the lower back. After your last exhale, just slide the hands underneath your shoulders. Gently lift your torso up. Palms together at heart center. Thumbs touching your chest, and just drop your head towards your hands. Take a nice small bow, honoring the body for everything it does every day to keep us on this side of the dirt. Inhale. Exhale. You can open your eyes and lift your heads up. Thank you so much for sharing your practice here in this class. I really do hope for you baseball players that this helps keep you injury free and also helps prepare your bodies for the game to keep your baseball game strong. From me to you, the light in me honors the light in you, which means namaste. Thank you so much. Please check out my other classes in my website. Have at it. I have so many other types of classes. I hope to see you there. But for now, thank you and goodbye.